What if your mind is not where you think it is? Most people assume the mind is located in the brain, inside the skull, behind the eyes. That feels obvious. But the deeper you look, the more complicated that idea becomes. Your brain is physical. It has structure, mass, cells, electrical activity. That part is clear. But your mind is not exactly the same thing as your brain. It is an unseen field of information in continual interaction with the subject. The mind is not just the brain as matter, but the living process of awareness and experience, the pattern, the flow of memory, thought, attention, and experience. That changes the question, because if the mind is a pattern, not just a physical object, then asking where it exists becomes less simple. A song is not only the instrument that plays it. A symphony is not only the page it was written on. The mind may be more than the physical material we use to study it. The mind is not just the part of you that thinks. It is also shaped by memory, emotion, habit, and attention. Some scientific ideas suggest that reality may be more layered than it first appears, and that raises a deeper question. Maybe the mind is not best understood as a location. Maybe it is better understood as an ongoing process. How much of what you call yourself is conscious choice, and how much is conditioning? A pattern that remains recognizable even as the material beneath it changes. Your body changes, your experiences shift, and yet there is still a continuity you call yourself. Not because every particle stayed the same, but because the pattern remained organized in a way that preserved identity. Maybe this points to something deeper about the self. Maybe consciousness is not just about what the brain is made of, but about how experience is organized, how memory holds together, and how awareness becomes aware of itself. Awareness helps us apply it, because this is not only a theory, it changes how you live. If the mind is shaped through pattern, then what you repeat matters. What you focus on changes you. What you take in stays with you. What you practice becomes part of you, because attention helps reinforce the patterns that shape experience. This is why your environment influences you. Language leaves a mark. Habits build patterns. Relationships shape experience. Not because the mind is floating somewhere outside reality, but because the mind is constantly being formed through interaction with reality. And this leads to another question. If your experience of the world is filtered through perception, memory, expectation, and attention, then how much of what you call reality is also shaped by the way your mind has learned to interpret? That does not mean reality is imaginary. It means your experience of it is always being processed, translated, organized, given meaning. And once you realize that, the question becomes even deeper. Maybe the mind is not just something you have. Maybe it is something you are continuously participating in. Not a fixed object, but a living process, a dynamic pattern between perception and the world around us. So maybe the real question is not only where the mind is, maybe the deeper question is, what is the mind, and where does it come from? And what happens when that awareness begins to examine itself? Every clip is a seed, but awareness decides what grows. New episodes weekly. See you soon, and thank you for watching.